think we do every time that we post?
Right.
Well, it's because we post and we say things that are in it spiritually that are profound, and we think that nobody's like, nah, but nobody sees. The unseen is watching each and every single one of us, what we're doing every single day and what we're doing to plant our own seed. And this is what I'm doing. This is what I do. I respond to the Congress, the Senate. I don't have a problem being snarky with them. I don't know if they see it. I don't care.
What?
So what's happening now? Because see, here's the beauty. And what did she say at the very end?
Hey, go ahead and play it. I mean, we're riffing on it. Let's go ahead and show it.
Oh, are we live?
I mean, I know we just watched it, but let's watch it again. It's not long enough to be tiresome.
So are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
All right, well, look, guys, give some love out there while I tee this thing up. Buy me some love.
We got it. We're organic. Organic.
All right, so what am I doing? So I gotta go and share.
Data does not imply transparency. We don't put it in here.
Right.
Just because we're live doesn't mean
we're live. Gotta share the sound. Hold on. I gotta go back and start this all over again.
Yeah, but you practiced, so you got it.
Yeah, I got the sound on. So, anybody on Noodle, do you want to just tee this up for the good of the recording and for anybody that's live?
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, I guess this is just an X post. I don't remember who was it from, but it's somebody that Elon Musk has been engaging with to evaluate the government structure and spending.
Yeah, she's a data scientist, wicked smart, and she's deaf.
Yeah, she uses AI to evaluate massive databases, to index them, to make them accessible, to find connections.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And she's being interviewed, as you'll see, by a guy and a girl, and the gal is obviously using sign language and interpreting. Is that your understanding? That's the way I picked up on it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one speaking.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So
and this is recent, right? This was what, this morning?
About an hour ago. I picked it up on X because sometimes I'll, repost Elon stuff or whatever. So yeah, enjoy. This is about 4 minutes long, but for the good of everybody watching, just be open-minded. Listen to your intuition. And listen to the frequency of the water of your body and how it's vibrating when you participate in this 4-minute TikTok. Okay. And what do we got to do to make it go? Oh, boss and see, it's not working.
Hit the watch again on the screen.
Yeah, watch. Yeah.
Picture with all the databases you're looking at and taxpayer money, how much do you think is being wasted or stolen?
If I had to guess, I would say it's over 100 billion. But what's more important is what they're doing with that money.
The mythical X account Data Republican, shared over and over again by Elon Musk himself, is a real person, a former programmer, now full-time calling out government waste, like exposing USAID. How did you get the attention of Elon Musk?
Honestly, I don't know. You'll have to ask him, but I'm grateful. One day, you just, I tweeted what everybody should, I just tweeted what I found, and then he tweeted everyone should follow the Data Republican. My jaw dropped to the floor, and I thought, what, is this real life? But I guess tech people find tech people. I want to be clear, I don't communicate directly with Elon. He found me and supports my work. But I have communicated with some people that are involved with Doge just on the side. And I don't want to say much more about that, but I have a working relationship.
She goes by Data and uses AI tools to search public databases for waste and fraud. She's been to DC to meet with Elon Musk's Doge team and publishes all her findings on X and her website. Charity funding, federal grants, non-governmental organizations funded by taxpayers. It's all there. What do you say to people who think that this data, these databases, these numbers have been out there for a long time, that they've been public for a long time, and that it's sort of like a publicity stunt that they're getting all this attention now?
That's just an ignorant assumption. Data does not equal transparency. I am a database expert, a database scientist. I am a kernel engineer, and the numbers do not lie. What I did was I added the index to the book so that people can actually find the awards, what they're looking for. And you have to understand, without AI, this would not be possible because the book is so large, nobody can sit down and read the entire thing.
Her next project could be even bigger, investigating and exposing what she believes are corrupt politicians and judges. She posted this weekend, still working on the People Connection mega project. This will be my first truly financially high-cost initiative, so I need to get it just right.
So my project right now is to work on analyzing connections and relationships between people in the government, because if you research people long enough, you start to notice that they're all working together. They're all married. They're all in-laws. They know each other. They all sit on the same board for many years. And that's my project, to map those relationships and put it on my website.
She says Democrats and Republicans are both to blame.
Ding, ding,
I
ding,
cannot
ding.
tell you enough how much both are involved.
Ding,
It is
ding, ding,
everywhere.
ding.
Now we even have members of Congress. So we have sitting members of Congress that actually sit on the NGOs right now. They vote in Congress for money for themselves, and they sit on the same NGOs that they're voting to get money. It is a huge conflict of interest, and it's buried very deep. The numbers don't lie. This is not a partisan issue, and if the American people understood completely what we're finding, there would be outrage across the board.
Are you ever scared? Because exposing things like that, the ways people are making big money secretly within our government, seems like it could put you at risk.
Oh yes, we had to change the way we live entirely, quickly. But you know, sometimes God calls you for a mission, and you must answer that call.
Wow.
Dude, and they're public people. That's why the money doesn't matter. This is just the flower pots that were in the front yard. Everybody has access to this. We got tools that can now decipher the obscurity of things. This is just what's in the front yard. And there can be no pearl clutching over this. Our culture's known this. We've known it on some level, that everybody in government's kind of corrupt. It's not a surprising thing to find out that a politician has somebody in their back pocket, or somebody else has politicians in theirs. We're not even surprised.
Yeah, but when they're taking all our hard-earned money,
Yeah.
we should be not surprised, but we should be like, okay, we need some high returns, please. Bring
Right.
it
Now
back.
we seem to have the political will to do something about it.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
people like this that are being pulled out of or maybe put back into bunkers, because I can't imagine she doesn't have a target the size of Manhattan on her back.
Yeah.
Because these people, the jig's up.
Yeah. Well, that definitely wasn't a public place where they were interviewing her at. So
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
definitely in a secure place. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard this thing about this guy was in New York, and he went out to step out for a smoke break, and he was new to the place. He was working at some like eating place, and he sees like 3 roaches walk down the sidewalk in front of him. He's like, okay, that's not that big of a deal. You don't see it all the time, but you don't see it. And then there's dozens of them, and then hundreds of them, and they're falling from the sky, like out of the darkness. He's like, it's 2:00 in the morning, and his boss comes out. He's like, what the, and so he asks the guy, he's like, what the heck is this? And he goes, dude, they're probably just selling a building. When they sell a building in New York, they bomb it, and it makes all the roaches run out. So there'll be thousands. The sidewalk will be covered with them. It's like they just started bombing. The roaches are ditching, dude. The roaches are ditching. They, I mean, it's raining roaches.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And there's red roaches and blue roaches. It's
Right.
freaking amazing.
It's roaches, baby.
And some of them roaches, they're old looking roaches too.
Yeah, they've been around for a long
Surprised
time,
they're still alive.
hiding in obscurity and an awareness in the culture that says, a little corruption is expected. Until it's all corrupt. How much of the money is affected? Well, all of it. All of it. The money you just spent on that Big Mac, man, went through some hell to get there, and it probably isn't yours. You know, I mean, it's all of it. Metaphorically, it's all in the entire thing. I just wasn't raised to see this country this way. It was like, no, America's the best. Yes, yes. And this is showing why it still might be. Because apparently it was just as corrupt as everywhere else you could possibly imagine. Just had better marketing.
And I wonder who's really writing the screenplay of all this that's going on, huh?
Not the roaches.
Well, this is a collaborative, right?
Yeah, it's crowdsourcing. I love that. I love that. That makes sense that Elon would use crowdsourcing and AI to uncover this stuff, to decipher it. I mean, look at, she just made an index. She just did what Google did to make you, find them sneakers easier. Let's not.
Geez, when did you find out she was religious? Oh, you didn't. Until you had empathy for her. Oh, she's deaf.
No.
Oh, but she's like wicked smart. And she can hear even though she doesn't physically hear. And at the end, she acknowledged. And you got a sense of who she is and who her character is. So I got news for you. So Boston C is going to prophesy. In the government, like her, wherever she is, the Lord is infesting. We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Juggernaut's powerful and unstoppable. It's happening. And if you don't think that Big Love is not orchestrating this whole deal, and it's all metaphorical, and I'd be wondering, wow, how do I turn in to the corruption that's in? Because we get to see and point fingers now. Toot, toot, toot. You're going to see everybody's going to show their character. Everybody's donkey and jackass is out of the barn. And all you got to do is just let people open their mouth. Okay, so all the congressmen and all the senators that have been around for a long time, you're finished. You're finished. And you're going to go down as a narcissistic, characterless, corrupt one that's easily observable.
Yeah.
Rightly judged in truth. The justice has been legislated. Watch. Wait for it. And stay to be amazed.
Yeah, I was I don't know who posted or maybe I was reading
Thus
it.
saith Big Love.
Right. I know I was reading somebody had mentioned the story. It might have been you, Jeff, actually, on one of your Segula writings about the adulterous woman. I think it was in your Substack.
Yeah, this week. Yep.
Yeah. And we always focus on the adulterous woman. Like she was, she's in the center of all these politicians, the Pharisees and everybody. They were the senators and the government leaders of the land and whatever. And I'm like, okay, there's only one reason why she's an adulterous woman. Where were all the men? Because you can't be an adulterous woman unless there's other people involved.
Right.
They were
But we
probably
always
saying there.
focus on her, And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, so when Jesus started writing in the circle, because they all knew this woman and they were accusing her of being, oh, they were all,
Yeah,
we've never done anything like this, but we know down the back alley,
right. How many of them knew
or
her?
how many homes was she in of the very men.
I never thought about that.
I had never really thought about it either. All the very men that were accusing her, because that's really what happens is when the fire gets hot, they start pointing fingers and
Right.
start pointing the blame at others, and they never, it doesn't, you know, got to remember when you're pointing this way, there's three of them pointing back at you. So,
Yeah,
you
and,
know,
and it's what religion is known for.
Mhm.
It's its moniker, its avatar, its handle. It's
Yeah,
known for that. It's synonymous with the idea of finger pointing when they're just as guilty, if not more so.
yeah,
I never thought about that. Like the dudes, they didn't just know she was an adulteress; they
they
helped make
knew.
her one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and the thing was, they were stoning her to get rid of the evidence. That's
right.
all.
And
They were
or
trying to
or
kill the
even
adulteress through the law,
or stone their own
through
guilt.
their own, yeah, stone her through all, because she probably pissed somebody off or
Yeah,
was going to say something or was trying to step away from that and was going to tell all. Well, like what's happening here, actually. And, you know, and then all hell breaks loose on the other side, and so they're just running for their lives, and that's what we're going to see right now.
yeah.
The cool thing is Yeshua was right there in the midst, and he was just writing things down. That was the documents. He was there was, that was the courtroom right there.
Yeah, he put
If
the
you want a
index
great
on
example
there.
of the courtroom, that we go in and the mobile court and all this, that was it right there. All the accusers around going, and Jesus just goes, whatever he wrote,
Yeah.
they all had to go.
Well, and in the past, that exposure could happen. This could have happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Same thing, same
Yeah.
to the same stopping point, because they would just disappear. Like, yeah, we got some people. We took care of. We rooted out the bad ones. Don't worry, move on. I don't think that's happening now.
Yeah. Well,
And,
you don't have, you're just like, don't get, so you have Jesus in the midst of there. Don't, because we don't know the relationship between, Elon Musk and whatever, but Jesus knew no sin. So he was able to go in there. He was of no guile.
right. Yeah,
So,
I don't want a theocracy. As
so
good as this
now,
looks, I don't want that either.
yeah, but now Elon and this is the reason why this can happen is because Elon and Trump and all them don't have no guile, so to speak. They don't have no money pulling on them going, they don't have, all these different ones don't have strings attached.
Which is exactly what the detractors of the current administration are saying about him. I mean, that's their main talking point. He's a grifter. So what you just said is directly in
Self-projection. They're
opposition.
projecting. Yep.
Yeah, they're saying, well, he's a
projecting their
grifter.
own
He's just here
reality.
to fleece the government and get something out of it. Look at him. He's selling sneakers. And
Yeah, but that's what the government, that's the CIA thing for a long time. I mean,
dude, I'll
it's just a
take
conspiracy
I'll take
theory.
that.
Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. That's just them deflecting off their own selves. And that's the thing.
I like it. Like,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
we're not
Tell us
saying
about
that
it.
Trump and all these guys are perfect. That's not the deal.
No.
But
No.
they are. This is a time. This is really the transfer of the wealth. This is part of the process, transferring the wealth from the wicked back to who it's rightfully supposed to go to.
And here's
So
one
as long as you stay clean, that's the whole point. What Boston C was saying, we got to deal with our own junk. Otherwise, we have the same infection.
Oh,
Everybody
wait
else
a
has.
minute. Wait a minute.
So
Just maybe the wealth transfer is the awareness that you better take out your trash every day. because below the sun and above the sun, all of our stuff is being observed.
Yeah.
We're going to cardionosis be able to see anybody and everybody. You don't have to have a unique, all you have to do is just function as a son and a daughter. It is the most amazing thing. And it is so simple. I heard it once said, you got to have somebody to help you misunderstand. Humanity needs to do one thing. Just work on your character. When you know better, just do better.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just deal with, you want to judge corruption? Okay, you get to judge corruption when you deal with your own corruption.
Yeah.
And it's observable because of the words that you speak. And that's what's happening. And everything is being exposed. And you can it's just Congress, Senate. Listen, it's happening in the governments. Geez, I wonder what Romania is going to do. What's the difference between Romania and this data scientist uncovering, connecting the dots of what's been happening in our government? It's all connected. Yahweh is opening up for everybody to observe together at one time. That's why I said this 4 years in 2020. I mean, the whole stabination, the face diapers, the whole scam. I mean, all of it. It was like, but however you felt about it, but I knew that Big Love has got the planet's attention. And he has the planet's attention right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is the best time to work on your freaking religion. Everybody has a religion. So if you want to have a religion that 20% of your personality is corrupt, listen, calling out all narcissists. It's a narcissist. It's amazing. You see them. And it's in my own family sometimes. Am I a narcissist? What's a narcissist? And then I heard somebody say it, and it's tied into all of this. Do you think we have narcissists in the new administration?
Yeah.
Can you see what a narcissist, how they act? So, what is a narcissist? They seek unearned love and attention. And they get power and money so they can have the unearned love and attention. But underneath, right? Insecurity and self-loathing. And Big Love says to Boston Sea, you see what I see? Yes, sir. Don't give them that frequency, that narcissistic frequency.
Right.
Don't give in to that deal. Don't cast your pearls. Who you are, your identity, you're observing somebody that has a lost identity. Do not give them what they want. Give them what they need. And I was like, ooh. So what do we do about that? How do we, when we see all this stuff that's being uncovered, the corruption, the malevolence, the malevolent intentionality, the children, the freaking children. Are you freaking kidding me? Narcissistic, characterless, corrupt, depraved, deviant ones. Do you think Big Love is pursuing them just as much as he's pursuing us? And the answer is yeah. Yeah, he is. But he's not going to tolerate what we individually tolerate in our own lives anymore. You're not going to be able to function in the corruption that you functioned in, because like Noodle said, this has gone on for a long time. But how long? Whatever, just go back to, go back to the garden, I guess. So anyhow, but something has shifted. And all of us and everybody that's listening, if you know who you are in the kingdom and you're functioning as a mature one and taking out your trash every day and you're leaning into who you are and you're waking up to your identity, get in the game. Get in the game. Find out something below the sun that you're passionate about and spend time on the inside and go in and do what you know to do in the realms. And that's the thing. Instead of going to another conference and this and that and reading another book, take who we are, and show ourselves to get things done, because it's being done. And that gal right there, that wicked smart one, she's doing it. Yahweh's daughter didn't know that Yahweh was in the girl until at the very end. And she is a representation of what the Lord has put into this current administration in all of its brokenness. We're all broken. But man, when you just, the hiding and the lying and the malevolent intentionality is coming to an end. And the other side, our teammates, our brothers and sisters are prophesying a whole different deal. Can't wait for hell to break loose. That's another conversation. But you know what? I'm not participating in that frequency.
Come on. That's right.
Right, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. It can stay. It doesn't need to break loose. Some fences are good.
So Boston C, what do we do? What do we do, Boston C? How do we get? Okay. Love big love. Practice loving big. Stay lovable. And you and your future will come to you. And it works 100% of the time. And if you don't believe me, just ask Big Jeff, because he's about to kind of wrap that up nice. A little takeaway, Jeff. Give us something. Give us the word.
Inconvenience. This whole thing was inconvenient. What Elon Musk did, what Trump did, what this woman did, inconvenient. Disruptor of their life. I think we slave ourselves too much out to inconvenience. The whole reason why corruption creeps in is because each one of these people found a convenient way to get rich, convenient way to find power and influence. Yep. Convenience is kind of becoming a byword in my life, in the sense that it's subtle and it quickly seeps in. Before you know it, you've compromised. You've given away some of your principles for convenience. Man, we can go through all sorts of scripture to find it. The strong ones, the ones who do the hard stuff, push aside convenience for the sake of the heart, the passion, the desire. They inconvenience themselves on purpose in order to go after. And I think that's something that should resound in all of us, and that when these people stand up and they make these choices, they consider the cost, surely. When Trump was deciding to run for president, he's considering the cost the first term. He had to reconsider the cost again the second time. And he found it was worth everything. You hear RFK Jr. talk about the same thing. If I can save just one kid, if it means giving my life to save just one kid, then it's worth it. For the strong ones, the overcomers, the takeaway for me is, to be an overcomer, you need to toss convenience to the side. It needs to be trampled underfoot. You need to wake up every day and make it inconvenient so that you can grab a hold of life. Life is not convenient. Death is convenient. It's easy out. It's when we choose inconvenience, we choose, and I'm not talking about being stupid and being foolish in our decision making. I want to be inconvenienced. All right, go stand in front of the Mack truck running down the road, I guess. It's not stupidity. It's being wise, it's being shrewd. At the end of the day, it's standing up and saying, I'm a principled person. I'm a man of character, a woman of character. This is wrong, and this is right, and I'm going to stand in the way of right and righteousness, even if it means being inconvenienced, even if it means inconveniencing others. You think Christ was convenient? His arrival wasn't convenient. His death wasn't convenient. His life wasn't convenient for anybody around him. He inconvenienced everybody around him. There was no convenience about him. And if we emulate that life in our own life, then we shouldn't be surprised if we embrace inconvenience for ourselves and for others. That's the hard part. This woman, what she's done, this database index is massive. She made it convenient for other people, but her life has been deeply inconvenienced.
Yeah.
She continues to choose that for the sake of others. She's also inconvenienced a lot of shady people too. And you know that this is, you're going to upset people when you choose the hard thing and you stand your ground. You're going to make it hard for those who want to stay hidden and who want to be inconvenient or stay convenienced. And I think that's something that it's fresh in my mind because it's just this morning dealing with inconvenience, something that's inconvenient, and you have to ask yourself why. Why is that important? Are we about relationship? Or are we about our lives being simple and smooth and easy to work through? Are we just going to flow the easy route, or are we going to stand our principles on our grounds and push in? And the beauty of the people that have stepped up is that all of them in this new administration and those that have been tapped to do the hard work, is they've all chosen this knowing that it would have been much more convenient for them and for their family just to go a different route. And we can cheer them on and support them, but we could also sit back and let them do the work and never really grow in strength in our heart and our mind. And I think what we should take is their resolve should be a sign of wonder for us. And I know all of you on this, the four of us, right? Convenience, we already understand this, but those who are watching, to take and look at what's been done in the public, what these men and women have chosen to do, and apply it to our own selves and say, where can I step up? Where am I allowing convenience to come in and seep in and cause me to become stagnant, become weak, to become complacent, to just go with it? And begin to make the shifts. Begin to make the changes. Because it's either life or death, truly. It's either life or death. You could be alive and living alive, or you could be alive and living a walking dead person. Or we call them in the gaming world NPCs, non-person player, character. And we got a lot of them running around, but you have to make decisions. Are you going to be a participant, or are you just going to be an animatron that's been moved around by the system?
And it's easily observable by one's character and your belief system,
Right.
your religion. It's observable. Everybody has one, and that's the thing. And then, so what do we do to? I love the way Elon said it. Not only curiosity, but maximalized truth seeking. Number one, but even taking it to a step further, we need to be not only truth seeking, but truth saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The words are life and death, and we have the ability. So it's kind of like going back to the narcissist. So at the end of the day, but you can castigate the narcissist and laugh at that they just got caught into the net to their own hurt. And that's vengeance. Way to go, Lord. That attitude right there is not big love. That's not what that is. And the narcissist that's broken because of the self-loathing and the insecurity. And the Lord says, what are you feeling right now? And it wasn't even empathy. It was compassion. I was like, wow. So it's like, so I got to develop this energy of compassion towards the narcissist but the way you do that, because we get tripped up because we're seeing the bad things they're doing, and we're holding the person responsible that Yahweh is trying to set them free. So we've got to get good at separating, judging the concretely bad thing. There's consequences. You're going to jail for 20 years, but big love's going to be it. But you got to go to jail. Well, whatever the justice that Big Love is legislating. That's his freaking deal. It's just, what's the attitude, the position, right? The woman caught in adultery. Where are the guys? That type deal. You know. So yeah. So good, bro.
Yep. You're muted, Eric. You're muted, Eric.
So I think one of the low hanging fruit of understanding, or at least having compassion towards a narcissist, is to find your own.
Yeah.
When you see inside, I'm like, oh, I was really being narcissistic there. And it's like, now I have at least some kind of track of, I can see the mindset steps to get there. Like, it made sense at the time. I acted that way. I can't see it now. I'm like, oh my word, it was such bad behavior. But I'm like, I get it. I see the breadcrumbs leading to my own faulty conclusions about the world and how it owes me. And somebody had those thoughts and end up in extreme narcissism, and they're connected in a different way because their effect is broader. It may not be just their front yard's bigger. And I get it. I mean, it doesn't make it okay. Understanding, though, it's all right. But if you understand how you got there, then I can also imagine a way out. It's like, you can still walk away from this. You can still recover. Lay it down, admit it, and move, and start to, so that's possible. So that helps. Like, man, it's easy to see the analogy of the roaches and forget that I'm a roach.
Could be one of them.
Right? I mean, they're not roaches. I guess that's where it breaks down. These are people, flooding out of buildings, and there's hope. Like, and none of this is permanent.
Yeah. Well, some of them, actually, a lot of them are losing their jobs, and they're wondering why. And
yeah.
So, I mean, their lives are being turned around, turned upside down, and that is an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, what are you going to do about it? Hopefully, it causes us to look inside and go, okay, I may have stepped away from my, what's in my heart. I may have stepped away from those common sense hellos. And so this is an opportunity for me to get back on track, and that's the cool thing about the Father, about Big Love, man. He is not about, I mean, his mercy and his grace is so great, and his long suffering is so long, and what may be, what looks like an inconvenience to us, as far as what's going on is, I mean, you can turn that around. He's always wants to turn it around for our good. That's the thing. Everything he does, everything the Father does, he turns that around for our good and then multiplies it, because he is the Father of multiplication, going above and beyond all that we ask or think. So that's his thoughts. Whether you have a relationship with Yahweh or not, whether you have a relationship with Yeshua, Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit, whatever you call them,
Big
it
love.
doesn't matter. Big love. It doesn't matter. His way of doing things, he is going above and beyond all that you ask or think. There's always going to be a hope and a future. He's always giving you a hope and a future. And so when things look hopeless, when it seems like there's less in there, look for the more, because there's always more. And sometimes, pulling away the little, because that's the whole thing I was thinking about today. Let everything that needs to be shaken be shaken. And I was thinking about in my own life, what does that look like? And as I was on the shaker this morning, so I'm on this little after my exercise. I always get on the shaker and for 10 minutes and I'm just kind of doing my mantra of Yod Hey, Vav Heys, and just the different things that I do. But it was really like, okay, we all need that. There's a shaking going on right now. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because the whole thing is he wants to get us on stability. He wants to get us on that the rock, being able to stand and be strong in him because our strength is in him anyways. And so that's the whole thing. When we're weak, when we're inconvenienced, he is made strong in us. We're made strong in him. So however that looks for you, I mean, even if it means to take a pause right now. Sometimes taking a pause and assessing is good. And then you can get back into what you're doing, but look at it in a different way. I mean, obviously there was a skill level that you had when you got that job in the first place. Find somewhere else, but use it for good instead of for not. I mean, I guess the whole thing that evil always looks good, sin always looks good for a season. And, it always looks and it seems to manifest, oh, I'm rich and I'm wealthy and I've got all this money and everything. Well, probably would have happened this way as well. So just get on this path. Manifest it this way instead of this way. That's the whole thing. And this way is multiplying without any corruption involved.
Right.
Not gonna fall away and die, it's gonna multiply beyond what you think. So get on this side. Get on this side. That's the whole thing about this whole awakening. It's just like, some of us have awoke on the wrong side of the bed. All we have to do is go back to sleep, rest, and get back up, on this side, on the right side of the bed this time. It's like, man, you got a second opportunity. That is just huge. Huge.
That's a good word right
It's
there.
mercy, isn't it? I mean, someone could take it and respond differently, right? But there's many ways that
Yeah.
man can respond to basically these things that have happened that are out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
You lose your job because the agency you work with is deeply corrupted and it needs a major overhaul, if not completely shut down. So you lose your job. You could see it as a total destruction of your life and way of living,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be seen as a mercy that Yahweh gives this person an out
Yeah.
to find a life that isn't dependent upon corruption to exist, that can begin to go after a clean conscience. I know you sit in the government office long enough, you feel it. I've worked around the government enough to know just in a little bit that eventually the atmosphere changes you and it seeps into and you start to go along with the show. And your conscience isn't clear. You're like, I like my paycheck, but man, I know this isn't right. I like my paycheck, but I know it's not right. Eventually you just stop saying it. You're like, you just keep swallowing it. He's like, yeah, I know. I just turn a blind eye to it. I know it's there. What can you just start justifying? What can I do about it? And you start to justify all those things. Well, why? Why not move away from that place? And especially if you're a believer and you're working in those agencies and you're like, God, I want to move into righteousness. I want to live a clean heart. I want to be conscious. I want to be effective. And then whammo, you lose your job and you're like, God, why did you allow this to happen? It's like, you asked for it. This is my mercy. This is my open door, my opportunity to bring you into this request that you've asked of me. So it can, depending on your viewpoint, it could be complete mercy for thousands of people. you know, to find a new way to discover a healthier, cleaner conscious, to align their activities with a character that they wish to have. I think that's part of the issue with a lot of this too, is people wish to have a certain character. They wish to have a certain reputation of respectable trustworthiness, and yet their actions are constantly cutting them off at their knees. Well, you want to have clean, you know, a character that is without tarnish. You want to be well respected. Well, then stop doing what you're doing, because you're fighting yourself. You're biting your own tail. And how many we all know the prayers we pray to become a better person, to become a more Christ-like person, to be more divine. We pray those prayers, and we don't fully understand that journey, what that's going to look like to bring us into that place. And sometimes it requires being inconvenienced. It sometimes requires our world to be upside down, you know, turned upside down for each season. And we can either say, dang it, God, why'd you do this? Or be willing to recognize and transparent that this is the mercy that I've been praying for. And so it's hard, but let's step through it and let's transform. Let's take the road that brings me into the desires, the true desires from my heart. It's a case by case, right? So you don't know what everybody's dealing with or thinking about. But I think for many, this is a mercy that they don't realize. They just have to be opened up and their eyes opened up to waking up to that truth.
I get the feeling that there's something eternal about that process. Like, I know eternal effect, but like at the heart of this, it may seem like an inconvenience in this manifestation of things. But the result of that inconvenience, the growth, the expansion, the understanding, I don't see any case in my imagination where that would stop, ever. The mechanisms are here right now, but I don't think this stops.
Well, his mercies are new every morning, so the continuation always.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying I think they extend beyond mornings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's no, even when we don't have a morning,
yep,
at all,
so you can have
cycle changes.
You can have two individuals experiencing the same inconvenience, and yet, why were they able to overcome and continue on their journey? And why is this other one that experienced the same identical inconvenience crashed and burned? Because no one told them who they are. They don't know who they are. And no one told them the power of choosing. Choice. We get to choose. We have free will. We get to choose how we're going to look at this inconvenience. It doesn't feel good, but I'm going to choose. I'm going to take the technology of choosing and me as a technological being and be real with myself that emotionally I'm freaking pissed. Right? But I know who I am, and I'm going to choose to go down this path. And I don't necessarily know what it's going to look like, but I know that being more characterful and walking away from the inconvenience of the good paycheck of the corruption, it just feels like it's a cleaner, it's a God consciousness. I've heard about it, and this is a hill worth living on. And that comes out of the responsibility of having and desiring an awareness to understand your own circumstance and situation and take responsibility and just decide to make a good choice. Because right there's another piece of technology called your intuition. It's a spiritual gateway. It's in the belly area, right? Oh, geez, I knew that. I knew I should have done that. I knew I shouldn't have done that. That's called your intuition. When you listen to your intuition, the Lord is there right? You just know it, and then you have the free will to choose. And if you choose poorly, Big Love doesn't love you any less. He's
And
just
who
going to give
chooses
you,
to
he's
choose
going to give
poorly?
you another choice down the road, until when you choose to not listen to him your whole life and lay down and take your last breath and go, yeah. Because the way you're coming in is the way you're going out, saying his name.
Well, who makes bad choices? I never have. Every choice I made, I thought I was doing what I wanted to do in the moment. Like, of the choices I have, this is the one that either hurts the less or gains the most.
But I think the choices that you make, it's tied to character. So that's a different deal. It's not talking about the choices that you make about the way you're going to drive. Am I going to drive 10 over, 5 over? I'm going to do 9 over. I'm just telling you the way it is. Because they give you 10, I'm taking 9.
Well, I say that the choice is made with a lack of knowledge. And I don't mean the science knowledge necessarily as we think we understand it or think I understand it, but it's the knowledge of the true cost of my choices. I don't know the true cost. I made an error in judgment because this choice, even if it was to rob somebody at gunpoint, right? I made a choice, and without the knowledge of the true impact of what I'm doing, right?
No.
There's a
You know what you're doing when you rob somebody, and a lot
Yeah,
of
that's a
times you become
choice.
a career criminal.
Sure.
They know what they're doing.
And it was worth it. It was worth the risk. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. Either they tricked themselves in believing this was the only choice they had, or this was the best in their options, right? You know, it's stealing bread to feed your family bull crap. But at some point along the way, you're like, hey, this is the best choice for me. I don't give a crap about the risk. You don't know who you are, so you don't know the full ramification of those choices.
Well, guess what? So so Boston C just wants to prophesy. So every congressman and every senator that has been sitting on a non-governmental organization, okay, and you've been voting on giving money to an organization that directly benefits you,
You're
are
choosing.
freaking finished. So understand that you've chosen poorly. And your choices look like it played out really well for a long time until it doesn't work out. You've chosen poorly. And so consequences inbound, and this is what's happening. And we're all going to be inconvenienced, but bring it. The money system is coming down. We're going to be inconvenienced, right? The corruption is coming down. The sex trafficking is coming down. I mean, and then it's just, you just look and you just see, like, in countries I'm just like laughable. It's like not laughable, but Romania, and they just cancel the election. Like, the EU is done. They don't know I don't know what they're going to look like, but they're done. It's like you got the jabron that's coming into the office tomorrow to give half of the minerals that, we needed to get paid back. You should have never got a dime. We should have never went to war. And I guess in a couple of days, we're going to be able to, next week, who knows, we're going to be able to like Russians again. Let me see. Then who else? Who's on the hate list? So I keep forgetting who I'm supposed to love and who I'm supposed to hate. Freaking jabron.
They haven't indexed it yet.
You're all done. You're toast.
It's a big database. They haven't indexed that one yet.
I want to know, because Lindsey Graham's one of them. That's right. You're on, dude. You're inside. I know where you are. You and all your jabrones. I want to know every one of you jabrones that are sitting on these NGOs. I want a freaking list. We're going to take you out in the playground. It's happening, and you can't stop it. And anything I can do on the inside, big love, however you do, Lord, I so love you that you expose all of the stuff that we get to choose what we're going to do. Help us with twos to help me do more of this and less of that. But for those that like, oh no, I want to stay in my corruption, you're finished. Watch, wait for it. Stay to be amazed. What time is it? Oh, we got 5 minutes. I'll be quiet. I'll tell
Hey,
you.
did you see how that database, that exposure?
Yeah.
Did you read the top of that post?
No.
Was it Elon who said it? I don't know whoever said it on that post.
Yeah,
but the
I
top of
didn't
the post
understand.
said,
Yeah,
it
was
said in order to deal with the corruption, we need to make it more profitable to be good.
Yeah,
said-
yeah,
He
yeah.
was suggesting that we pay congressmen a lot more so that and this seems like such a business perspective. There's that dude that I don't know, it's another I don't know what the company does, but he said everyone here at the company gets $75,000 a year. And I'm dropping my pay to the same as yours. He was making millions, and he's like, he brought everybody up. Suddenly, people are having kids because they can afford it, blah, 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 blah. I know we got short time, but even through the pandemic, he said, hey, we got to cut back. Everybody voluntarily cut back. And then after it was over, when their money came back, he not only put them back at their previous pay, but he back paid them for the sacrifice they made to take less, right? And the companies increased their profits tenfold through this bit because everybody said you're nuts.
Are they hiring? I'll come out of retirement. Where is this place?
I don't remember the name of it, but I can find it later. But I think that's the idea is like we want to make it less enticing to be a roach. Right? Hey, we'll pay you. Look, come serve in Congress. We're not asking you to do it for free. We'll pay you 10 times as much. Just don't take bribes. Don't grease your own wheels.
We're going to limit your terms.
Yeah, do
Can't
the
be a
job right.
career, but you're going to get paid well while you're in here. So
right,
just
like we're going to pad you, man.
And you got a clean conscience.
Yeah.
And you're living forever.
Love wins.
And because you like did the right thing below the sun, man, dude, you have no idea how good it's going to be on the other side. And all you had to do is just be a good jabron for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. You knucklehead. Look what you left on the table.
So, but he's trying to manufacture, or the idea is, hey, your choices are better to just be good. Like, don't do that. It's not worth it,
yourself. Man. Be good to yourself. Give yourself a hall pass too. Don't shame yourself. We're not judging you. Yeah, we are. You're judged. You're judged. All right? Stop doing that thing you're doing. Stop it. Cut it out. Well, don't cut it out. I mean, I don't want you to hurt yourself. All right, lighten up. Stay funny. Have a sense of humor. Oh, so much good stuff going on. But it's crazy. It's crazy out there, folks. All right, we got 2 minutes. Somebody wind this down. I'm jacked up. I shouldn't have had that like electrolytes in this water. Got me jacked up. Well, maybe the 2 cups of coffee before that, Boston C too. Try decaf. Yeah, I know.
Stimulants were the right choice when you made it.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need to be sending good energy to each other and stuff that, if we don't see something right, all right, Lord, I got to send some good energy there. I know you got this stuff.
Yep.
It was interesting because my neighbor was like, kind of mocking Pam Bondi that apparently he had an article so that they changed their mind. The Epstein list was on the desk and now she's not releasing it, and then it come to find out they are going to release it and all this kind of stuff. And so it's just because one of the things you got to that this whole administration is promises made, promises. Well, we missed that one. So it's kind of like, it's like, you said you were going to Fort Knox. Okay. Yeah. Put the camera on because we want to go in the room with you, and it's just, we don't forget this stuff. And so when you say stuff that you're going to do stuff, and then, the American people, I remember, I mean, it's like, when you're going to release a list, I don't know what's going to come out of it. I don't care. But you said you were going to do something that was on your desk. You need to do what you say you were going to do. And so that is the difference, even in any administration. And that has nothing to do with red and blue and left and right.
That's right.
No, that's just the mob. And the mob's always hungry.
All right, so let's sign off.
Love you guys. Stay in the way, stay in the path.
Love. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you all soon. And he's gone.